What's up YouTube, it's Dr. Zor helping cure you from being a noob. Today's video is going over how to clutch. In order to clutch out rounds, you need to make the right moves at the right time to win those unfavorable situations, and we're going to go over the fundamental tips that will help you increase your odds of doing so. If this video helps you out, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below what you'd like to see next. Let's get right into it.
Die line with the boom pound. Every week now I switch to a new sound. 212s in the back just blew out. Everything I do end up in a new sound. Yeah, lead a club with a few now.
Alright, so this first clip is going to go over off angles and faking the opponent. This round starts off pretty rough, but I am able to get a frag onto the Jett that was trying to sneak onto doors. Now this is when things get interesting. We actually get pushed from A site and are now kind of in a sticky situation. I win the duel against Sage, but Raze manages to get a few shots on me from behind. I managed to escape, and now this is where the off angle and faking comes into play. If I ran straight into the site, that would be the most obvious move and I'd make a lot of noise and give away my position. Instead, I actually choose to stay quiet and stay back in this corner, which is an uncommon spot for me to be in right now. Not only that, but I make sure to not hug a wall, as that is a common angle that players may check. So you can see I have some space from the box. With this, even if Raze decides to peek this corner, this position will surprise her. And sure enough, Raze doesn't expect this position. She thinks I went A, and I'm able to surprise her and get the frag. Another example is in this 3k op clutch. I got a quick pick onto the enemy Viper, and this actually opens a lot of space for us to play the round. The enemy will have to split up the 3 sites and have the 4th player take a guess on where we might show up. My team actually hits C really hard afterwards, and it turns out the enemy made the gamble and were ready for it, and I end up in a 1 vs 2 again. And there's 2 key pieces of information that I know. First is that I just saw Jett in garage, and I know that Phoenix is somewhere on the site. The biggest thing I need to do is isolate a kill. At the lower ranks, most players will get antsy and peek an angle that they don't need to, and that's what Phoenix does, and he gets punished here. And now we're at a 1 vs 1 again, and I picked the unorthodox play. The obvious move is to rush in after the pick onto the site, but I actually decide to take it slow, and by doing so I make Jett second guess whether I'm actually still at C long. Because of this, the Jett ends up throwing a bad smoke, and that actually makes it harder for them to see me, and I get an angle that she wasn't expecting and wipe her off. Again, if I ran straight in, she would have been able to hold the angle with her op at garage and pick me off. Those few seconds made her rethink her position and make moves that she didn't need to make, and I was able to punish her for it. Gathering information and individualizing duels. Knowing where the enemy is crucial to clutching out, but if there are multiple enemies on the team waiting for you, you have to learn to single them out. Here I'm in a 1 vs 4, so I want to have 4 1 vs 1 duels if I want a chance to win this. I see my teammates shooting at elbow, so I peek that first and get the 1 vs 1 duel against Sage. From here I know that my team just went hookah, so that should be safe for the next few seconds, and I just saw 2 question marks at spawn, and there's possibly someone on site. You can see again I make the unorthodox move of jumping onto the crates to challenge the Raze to another 1v1. She wasn't expecting it, and I grabbed the frag on her. Now if we go back, we saw 2 question marks on the spawn like I said, so I know another player could be there, but I also know there's been quite a bit of time since I saw that, and that he could have ran elbow. I also got a call from my teammate that someone TP'd, so now I know one guy's in hookah and another guy is on either spawn or elbow. So I choose an angle to peek where hookah can't see me, and sure enough, Sova had rotated from elbow, and I get the 1 vs duel with him and win that. And now I know the last player is in hookah, and so I decide to throw my recon dart, which forces the Jett to push up or take the dart and give away her location. She also could have shot the dart, but again that sound cue would have gave me that information and reveal where she was, and I'd have the advantage. Jett ends up choosing to push, and I actually mess up my spray here, but she messes it up worse, and I grab the 4th kill to complete the clutch. So to review what happened here, we gathered information on the enemy location, we made the unpredictable plays, and we isolated the enemies into 1 versus 1 situations. Alright, going into the next tips, it's repositioning and outsmarting the opponent. So in this clip, we're on a save round and I'm going to show how we clutched up as a team this time. I first positioned myself in an off angle to surprise the Jett and get the kill on her. I decided to stay back here first though, as it's highly likely that there's more enemies on short and I'd get killed trying to grab Jett's gun. However, I see that the enemies are now on site and I'm trapped, so at this point I have to take a risk in which I go for the Spectre, and Viper's also on her way to support me as well on the flank. After that, I am able to reposition myself in a new unexpected location. This way the enemy will have to slow things down and try to check different angles to take back the spike, and this gives me the time to surprise them and get frags onto Brimstone and Sova. Once again, I use an off angle where they're unlikely to place their crosshair at to secure these kills. From here, it's a collaborative effort from my team. Sage and Viper are pinching onto the site, which leaves Raze in a tough position, and I end up challenging her and grabbing the frag. She actually had an angle that I wasn't expecting to, so you can see that I had to readjust my aim quickly to take her out, and she was overwhelmed both by me and by my teammates that are trying to flank onto the site. With this kill, I have my ult and Sage appears on the site, so I go in hard, but I definitely should have positioned myself better as I was very exposed with my ult. Luckily, she doesn't peek quick enough and I was able to challenge her and get these kills, and sometimes the biggest thing about clutching is relying on the enemy's mistakes. These last 2 kills were more about aim duels, but it wouldn't have been possible to get in that situation if I hadn't picked the right time to push for the weapon and had chosen a good position that the enemy wasn't expecting. Going through another ace clutch, when you're a man down, you need to look for picks, and since my Phoenix was just taken out at B short, I look to see if Brim decides to push for the weapon, and he does, and I knock him out. Now we're in a 3v4, but we actually don't check our backs and Viper gets flanked. So from here, we're in a very sticky situation and have no control of the map, so we reposition ourselves and retreat back to spawn to prevent getting pinched from all directions. From here, there's no real way to check both angles for omen, so I decide to ult in and satchel jump to make myself a hard target and find omen easier, and bam, he's eliminated. And with all the noise I just made, I expect that someone's potentially pushing in on me, so I check B short again, and then sure enough, Jett is there and I take her out. Now we're in a 2v2 and we made a lot of noise on B, so it's likely the remaining enemies have rotated over there. Because of this, we decide to go into A, checking our spots just in case someone decides to stay here, and we clear everything. But the key thing here is we actually couldn't check showers, so because of this, we don't know if an enemy is there, so I throw my nade in there just in case someone is there so they can't push in on me while I'm trying to plant. And sure enough, Cypher was there holding shower, so this nade was crucial to clutching out this round. Otherwise, Cypher could have pushed in onto the site while I was planting, I'd be dead. Sova would be in a 1 vs 2 without a plant and little time to do anything. So from here, my location is unknown, but I know Cypher and Sage are on site, so I listen carefully to the noise they're making and hear one pushing me from site, so I wipe him out, and then it's a 1 vs 1. I continue walking to ensure that my location is unknown. This way, Sage has to guess which direction I'm pushing from U-Haul. She decides to stick it, and I wait a little bit to see if she's faking it, and then I go in when she least expects it and grab the final kill to complete the ace clutch. To reveal, we picked the right site based on the information we had. We used our utility to ensure the plant, and then we positioned ourselves to get those 1 vs 1 duels again, and lastly outposition and outsmart the enemy. Alright, so we're wrapping this up with a 1 vs 4 op clutch that really ties in all the concepts that we talked about so far, and there's an extra twist where you can utilize the spike to fake out the opponent. I get the first frag onto Raze due to good communication from my teammate that she's in B short. After that, I'm looking for individual 1 vs 1 duels again, and I slowly peek one angle at a time to ensure this is the case. I just eliminated a player on short, so it's unlikely another player will be there that fast, so I try to quickly find a long pick before the enemy can further rotate. And by doing so, I find Sage and wipe her out, and now it's 1 vs 2. From here, it's really tricky. I have no idea where Brimstone or Viper are, but luckily I have my Cypher ultimate which can reveal their locations. Not only that, but I also have a camera that I set up earlier in Hookah that they haven't found yet. With this, I now have the information needed to clutch. I use my ultimate and I see Brimstone and Viper on B and actually decide to go onto that site. Again, the biggest thing about clutching is outsmarting the opponent, and with their location revealed, I expected one of them to actually switch up and rotate onto A. And now I use my camera and see that Viper's at spawn, so now I know where that potential 1B player is. So from here, I'm looking at the angle to see if she peeks again, and she doesn't, so I expect that she went onto elbow, and I start to push into the site. And actually Brimstone actually decided to stay onto the site, and he actually surprised me with his position behind crates. Again though, I thought my ultimate would have rotated a player out of B, but he decided to stay, so I have to scope in quickly to eliminate him. And since I was walking and I think he actually peeked Hookah a little bit late, he doesn't expect my position, he's not prepared for it, and boom, I wipe him out. Now we're in a 1 vs 1, and again, I know Viper is around spawn, either that or he went elbow, which is the more likely position based on the direction that we saw Viper running from. Another note is the time. If I don't stick to plant, I risk running out of time later if Viper decides not to peek. But if I do stick to plant, that leaves 4 seconds for Viper to push up onto me and get an off angle and kill me that way. With clutching, you need to take some risk, and Viper falls for the bait here. I tap the spike, but I don't actually commit to it, and again, based on my information, there's a high chance that Viper's at elbow, so I peek that area afterwards, and sure enough, Viper's there. I know her position, and I get the last frag to complete the 1 vs 4 clutch. That's all I have for this video. If it helped you out, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let me know in the comments down below what you'd like to see from me next. I know a lot of you guys are new players, so I want to get you guys prepared for what Valorant brings to the table, so let me know what's up. Do you need help with agents? Do you need tips on your aim? Leave them all in the comments down below. I'm Dr. Zora, helping cure you from being a noob, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.